Rafael Nadal to serve first point in the match. Nadal will serve centre. Blake with a backhand return. Forehand from Rafael Nadal. Forehand from James Blake. Slice backhand return from Rafael Nadal. And after a shot also forehand. Backhand slice from Nadal. Forehand from Blake. Nadal forehand. Blake backhand with depth to the right. But then Rafael Nadal returns with a backhand with depth to the centre, and it's a backhand winner. Blake with a serve to the centre with depth. Nadal backhand return. Backhand to the right from Blake with depth. Nadal returns. Nadal then returns with a forehand from a Blake. Forehand to the left. And then after another shot or so, James Blake with a forehand winner to the left. 1-1. Blake with a wide serve. Backhand return from Nadal. Forehand from Blake. Forehand from Nadal. Backhand from Blake. Nadal forehand. Blake backhand. Backhand slice from Nadal. Forehand to the left with depth from Blake. Nadal returns. And then James Blake with a forehand with depth to the centre, and it's a forehand winner from James Blake. Nadal reserves centre with depth, forehand to forehand ball striking of about 2 shots each. And then with the third forehand, Rafael Nadal strikes a forehand winner to the right, 2-2. Nadal reserves centre. Blake backhand slice return and backhand drop shot from Nadal. Blake's onto it with a forehand. Nadal with a forehand. Backhand volley from Blake. Nadal returns forehand volley from Blake. But then Rafael Nadal with a forehand passing shot winner to the right. Blake with a serve to the centre with depth. Nadal backhand return. Blake with backhand with depth to the right. Nadal returns. Nadal then returns with a forehand with Blake. Forehand with depth to the left. And after another 2 shots or so, another forehand with depth to the left from Blake. Nadal returns with a forehand again. But then James Blake strikes another forehand winner to the right. 3-3. Blake with a serve to the centre with depth. Nadal returns. And Nadal returns. Blake shot with forehand. Then with a slice backhand. But then James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the left. Nadal reserves centre with depth. Forehand slice turn from Blake. Backhand drop shots to the right from Rafael Nadal. James Blake is onto it. But then Rafael Nadal with a forehand passing shot to the left. 4-4. Nadal reserves centre. Blake. Slice backhand turn. Backhand drop shot from Nadal. Blake is onto it. Nadal forehand. Blake forehand. And Rafael Nadal with a forehand passing shot to the left. 5-4 on serve in the first set. Blake with a wide serve. Nadal forehand return. Backhand from Blake. Backhand slice from Nadal. Backhand from Blake. Backhand to backhand. Forehand to forehand. James Blake with another forehand winner to the right. 5-5. Blake with a wide serve. Nadal backhand return. Forehand with depth from Blake. Nadal backhand return on defence. And then after another shot also, forehand from Blake, Nadal returns. Nadal returns another Blake forehand. Blake with a forehand with depth to the left. Nadal returns a forehand. And then Nadal with a next return with the forehand from a James Blake shot. Strikes a forehand winner to the right. Nadal with a serve. Centres wide the box with depth. And then after a shot also a forehand after that. Backhand drop shot from Nadal. Blake is onto it. But Rafael Nadal with a forehand. Blake returns and then Blake volleys after Nadal return. But Rafael Nadal with a forehand passing shot winner to the left. And that's game and first set, Nadal. Blake with a serve to the centre with depth. Nadal forehand return. Forehand to forehand. Ball striking. And then a backhand slice from Nadal after the last forehand from Blake. And then after the last shot from James Blake, Rafael Nadal with a backhand winner to the right. Strikes a backhand winner. Nadal with a wide serve. And then a forehand. But Blake with a forehand to the right with depth. Nadal backhand slice return. Forehand to the left with depth from Blake. Nadal returns with a forehand. Backhand with depth from Blake. Nadal returns. And then Nadal returns another Blake shot. Blake with a backhand again. Nadal returns. But then forehand with depth to the centre from James Blake. And it's a forehand winner. 1-1. Nadal reserve. Blake returns. Nadal with a forehand to the right. And it's strikes a forehand winner. 2-1 Nadal serve in the second set. Blake reserve centre with depth. Backhand from Blake. Backhand slice turn from Nadal. Forehand from Blake. Forehand from Nadal. Blake with a backhand to the right with depth. Nadal returns. Nadal returns another Blake shot. Blake with a backhand to the right again with depth. Again Nadal returns. And Nadal returns another Blake shot with depth and then a backhand drop shot a bit after that from Nadal. Blake onto it. Nadal with backhand. But James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the left. 2-2 on serve. Blake with a serve to the centre with depth. Nadal forehand return. Forehand to the left with depth from Blake. Forehand from Nadal. Blake for a backhand. Backhand drop shot from Nadal. Blake's onto it with a forehand. Nadal with a forehand to the right. Blake for a backhand volley. And then Rafael Nadal hits a backhand to the centre, and it's a backhand passing shot winner. Nadal with a serve. Blake backhand return. Forehand from Nadal to the left with a bit of depth. Blake returns. Backhand slice from Nadal. Backhand slice to backhand slice. Backhand to backhand. Of 2 shots in a row. And then forehand to forehand. Blake backhand. Nadal slice backhand. Blake onto it. But then a bit further forward, Rafael Nadal strikes a forehand winner to the left. 4-2 Nadal with a mini break in the second set. Nadal with serve to centre. Blake backhand return. Rafael Nadal forehand drop shot to the right. James Blake is onto it. Nadal with forehand volley. But then James Blake strikes a forehand winner. 4-3 on serve. Blake with a serve to centre. Nadal backhand return. Backhand to backhand. But the second backhand from Rafael Nadal is a backhand winner. Struck to the left. Blake with a serve. Nadal backhand return. Forehand from Blake. Nadal backhand defensive return. Then Blake with a shot with depth, which Nadal returns. Backhand to the left with depth from James Blake. Nadal returns with a forehand slice. Nadal returns a backhand slice after another shot with depth from Blake. But then James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the left. 5-4 Nadal with a mini break in the second set. Nadal with a serve to the centre with depth. Blake forehand slice turn. Backhand slice from Nadal. Backhand from Blake. Backhand to backhand. Forehand with depth from Blake. Nadal returns with a forehand. And then backhand to backhand again. And James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the left. 5-all on serve. Nadal with a serve. Blake returns. Backhand from Nadal. Backhand to backhand. Backhand from Nadal. Blake returns. Forehand slice from Nadal. Then forehand to the right, bit of depth from Blake. Nadal returns. And then after the last shot from James Blake, Rafael Nadal strikes a forehand winner to the right. 6-5 Nadal on serve. Blake with a serve to the centre. Nadal backhand return. Backhand to backhand. Second backhand from Rafael Nadal. James Blake returns the Nadal shot, and then after 2 shots or so each, it's forehand. And James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the right. Blake with a serve to centre. Nadal forehand return. Blake with forehand to left with depth. Nadal returns. Blake with a backhand. But then Nadal with an overhead smash. Blake returns. Nadal is onto it. But then James Blake with a forehand. Nadal returns. Blake backhand. Nadal forehand. Blake backhand. Nadal forehand. Blake with a forehand drive volley. Backhand slice from Nadal. Forehand from Blake. And then Rafael Nadal with a passing shot to the centre. 7-6 Nadal with a mini break. Nadal with serve. Blake returns. Backhand slice from Nadal. Backhand from Blake to the right with depth. Nadal backhand defensive return. But James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the left. 7-all on serve. Nadal with a serve to centre. Blake backhand slice turn. Backhand drop shot from Nadal. Blake is onto it. Nadal backhand. Blake with a forehand. Nadal returns. Blake with a forehand. Nadal returns with backhand. Forehand from Blake. Nadal returns. Backhand from Blake. But then Rafael Nadal with a forehand passing shot winner to the right. 8-7 Nadal on serve. Blake with a serve to centre. Nadal backhand return. Backhand with depth from Blake. With depth to the right. And then Nadal returns to another Blake shot just after that. Backhand to backhand. Then forehand from Blake and forehand slice from Nadal. And then James Blake strikes a forehand winner to the right. 8-all on serve. Blake with a serve wide. Nadal backhand return. Backhand from Blake. Forehand from Nadal. Backhand from Blake. Backhand drop shot from Nadal. Blake's onto it with a forehand. Nadal with a forehand. Forehand to forehand. And then after a forehand drive volley from James Blake, Rafael Nadal returns with a forehand passing shot winner. Nadal with serve centre. Blake returns. Forehand from Nadal. Backhand from Blake. Nadal with a forehand to the left with depth. And game, set and match. Rafael Nadal.